Hello my dear students, this is Dr. 𝗲𝗵𝗺𝗺, your biochemistry faculty. Well, this video is in continuation with the previous video, translation. We are going to discuss about the inhibitors of translation because majority of the antibiotics, they arrest the process of translation, right? So let's start up with the discussion. Now what is this translation first of all that we have already discussed? So I'll just summarize. It is simply translating the information which is hidden in the form of a genetic code. So always remember, translation may the main enzyme, if we talk about the main or the fidelity enzyme here is aminoacyl-tRNA synthetase. Aminoacyl-tRNA synthetase, because it is the one which is activating the amino acids. So inhibitors will be different in prokaryotes, will be different in eukaryotes obviously. And always remember that translation requires three important processes: initiation, elongation and termination, with the help of different elongation factors or with the help of different initiation factors or termination factors. Okay, so first of all, let's see what are the inhibitors of, first we will take about prokaryotic inhibitors. Now see, if we talk about these, the first drug, streptomycin, if we talk about streptomycin, it always acts or it binds a 30S, causing misreading of mRNA and inhibits the initiation process, because we know prokaryotes mein you can say the ribosomes are 70S, eukaryotes mein 80S. So streptomycin binds 30S, right? Then if we talk about tetracycline, tetracycline also binds 30S, but it prevents the aminoacyl-tRNA binding to A site, yani ki the transfer RNA is blocked, because we know that transfer RNA is having 3' end pe the activated amino acid that we have already discussed. Then if we talk about chloramphenicol, chloramphenicol binds at 50S, and the main function of this is it is going to inhibit peptidyl transferase, and that I have already discussed in my video. Peptidyl transferase is the one which is forming a peptide bond. So basically ये क्या करेगा, it will inhibit that, it will not let the formation of that peptide bond. Then erythromycin, azithromycin, clarithromycin, they always bind 50S and inhibits the translocation. Because when we discussed in elongation, the second step of translation, I told you there are two processes taking place. One is the peptide bond formation and second is the translocation. So chloramphenicol always inhibits the formation of that peptide bond, whereas azithromycin, erythromycin, they will block basically the translocation process, because always remember the first amino acids which is red, it has to be at the bottom, and simultaneously the other amino acids will be forming a polypeptide chain. Then if we talk about clindamycin, clindamycin binds 50S and it inhibits again translocation process, similar to what is erythromycin and azithromycin doing. Then if we talk of linezolid, it binds 50S, inhibits initiation complex formation. Puromycin, which is very important, the question has been asked on puromycin. This always, it's a structural analog of aminoacyl-tRNA. So it inhibits initial premature chain termination. And then comes fusidic acid, it inhibits the elongation factor G, right? So these are the inhibitors of prokaryotes. And then after this, then we come over to what are the eukaryotic translation inhibitors. So if we talk about them, we can simply say that if we talk about the mode of action of cycloheximide, it is simply inhibiting the eukaryotic 60S ribosome, because eukaryotes have ATS which has 60S and 40S. Then diphtheria toxin, it inactivates the EF2 elongation factor. Pseudomonas, same mechanism as diphtheria toxin. Ricin, it inactivates 60S ribosome, and puromycin works in both because puromycin is working in both and it is initiating the premature chain termination. So these are the inhibitors of translation, very, very important, prokaryotic inhibitors and eukaryotic inhibitors, right. Now after this, then we come over to another very important topic related to this only, that what are the post-translational modifications, because whenever this polypeptide chain is produced, it has to undergo modifications. Okay, so in this video we will just confine ourselves to the inhibitors of prokaryotes and eukaryotes of translation. In the next video we are going to study about the post-translational modification of the polypeptide. That's it in this video. Thank you so much.